Are you nervous?
No.
I think you should be nervous.
Really?
For this interview.
Yeah. Fuck. Now I am.
You're watching The Sex Interview with Damon King, aka BTB, and I have a very special guest today, the meteoric Drake Vaughn.
What's up? I'm doing good. How are you?
This past year has been pretty wild for you. I mean, you kind of blow up this year. You're hosting the Grabbies. You win a ton of awards. Where did Drake Vaughn come out of? Taking
over the porn industry is kind of just something that I've always wanted to do, you know? So honestly, I'm just doing what I like to do best, and that's just, you know, just kind of establish my name out there.
So you said taking over the industry. Is that the goal?
Yes.
Do you want everybody to know who Drake Vaughn is?
I want to be like a household name, you know, something your grandpa could talk about with his grandkids, you know.
Do you think that there are older people watching what you do?
Oh yeah, of course. I feel like 50% of my fan base is probably older, you know.
So did you start on OnlyFans or did you start in studio?
I actually, when I first got into the industry, I didn't know like Twitter was a thing or X. I didn't know OnlyFans was a thing. I didn't know there was, you know, Instagram or all these different platforms that you could like market yourself on and like get your name out there and, you know, promote yourself for your like fans to like find you. But I mean, I did have Instagram, but it was just for like personal and family, friends, close friends. I had people like reaching out to me, finding me, even though I had no way, like they had no way of like doing it. They literally found me somehow and was like, you need to like be easier to find. So that was kind of like my motivator to start all my platforms.
What was that first scene? What studio was that?
It's called Military Classified, and
oh, I know this.
Yeah, and he's like straight guys from the military, never done porn before.
Yeah.
That was actually my first scene.
And who was it with?
It was actually with the director, Rob Navarro.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like,
okay, the
scene I did was actually like with him was so popular just because of like the look I had and like what he was doing. Like it was so funny because I even still see that same clip posted on Twitter today. It's like me sitting on the edge of the bed with not a care in the world, getting my dick sucked.
Okay, so we start there. How do we end up at Men? Because that is like legacy.
You know, during my journey in the industry, I started working with an agency, Howard from Fab Scout.
Yeah. And
so through him is how I got my first booking. And my first scene with Men actually was with Joey. So that was really cool. I was like, he told me, he was like, this is going to be a big shoot for you. And at the time I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I've heard about these guys, you know, for a while now, and here I am about to be in a video with them.
Did you like it? Did you like having a camera in your face? I mean, honestly
speaking, like, I think we all just enjoy like kind of being more intimate and like alone and like without having to worry about angles and opening up and your face and your groans and your moans. But, you know, I do love performing and I do love making, you know, works of art, if you want to call it that. Yeah. But I don't think anyone like likes a camera in their face, you know, like
the pacing is just different.
Yeah, it is.
Like you could be talking to somebody on Twitter who does OnlyFans, you're going to go collab with them. And then, you know, when it gets switched to studio, like all the passion and the desire and everything just goes out the window.
Exactly. You definitely do get used to it. After a while, you know, it just kind of clicks and it, but when you first do it, it's like, wow, this sucks. Like, this is not fun.
Do you ever get fans who write you and be like, I saw you in that scene with Joey. Oh my God, I wish you would do these things to me, whatever.
Oh,
like, how do you interact with the fan that is, you are the fantasy for?
Yeah, all the time that happens. But honestly, you know, I mean, there's fans and then there's true fans, right? So the fans obviously that get the most attention and will get responses to, and, you know, are like OnlyFans subscribers, you know, the people who actually want to pay to talk to you, the people who actually want to pay to see your exclusive content. They're putting that extra effort into talking to you, so why don't I put in the extra effort to respond back, right, and fulfill their fantasy.
Did you ever get annoyed with the amount of requests you got? Because I could imagine some crazy stuff coming your way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I get necessarily annoyed, because I mean, we all have our desires and our, you know, fantasies and our wants. So I just look at it as like, you know, I kind of put myself in their shoes. If you're gonna, you know, be a true fan, then like let me help you out. Like, we all want our nut off, right?
We can only shoot with people who either give us a release form or are in the business.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, the lay people who subscribe and they don't have their page or they're not in the content game, like, how do we work with those people? And testing on top of it. You know what I mean? Like if you pick up some random person, what happens if you get something from them?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the fans don't really know that. So like a lot of them are just like, oh, you know, we're out here just fucking everyone, fucking everything that walks. Like, I don't know. I try to like work with only people in the industry and like creators and, you know, professionals and people who responsible and that, you know, want to actually work. There's nothing worse than working with someone who just does not care, right?
It's a part-time job.
Because like when I was first starting, I was just filming with everybody, right? I was like, oh, here we go. You know, followers this, follow that. But now recently I've kind of just been like closing my circle down and like only filming with people I know that are actually interested in working and that I know that I'm going to get along with.
Yeah, what triggered that though?
Just the bigger I got and the more following I got and the more money I made, I just kind of realized I find myself being more successful working with the same people who know, you know, we kind of get each other, right? We know how we operate, we know our dynamic, we know how we work, and we can just get stuff done more efficiently, you know, and it's just as easier to work with somebody you've already worked with before. I find that formula a lot better than like filming with new people all the time.
What's your type?
Twinks or people like my build, I guess, maybe, you know, like twonks.
Okay, you don't consider yourself a twink?
I mean,
you have three Twink Awards.
3 Twink Awards, Twink of the Century. I don't personally consider myself a twink, but if the industry is gonna, you know, the twink life chose me. I didn't choose it, so I guess I am a twink. Yeah, I'm gonna have to accept that for a little bit longer, and which is okay, right? You can only be a twink once.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would say I'm a twink. So I guess my type would be twinks also.
Okay. And when you go on Grindr, right? What do people say to you? Do you have Grindr?
I do have Grindr, yes.
See, this is what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to identify where you are sexually on the spectrum.
So
because you shoot with everybody.
Yeah.
But what are you really into?
I kind of just use Grindr as like a marketing strategy. Like, I don't know if that would offend some people, but like I said,
everybody does.
I mean, I only shoot with professionals, but who knows, you know, maybe
somebody
once in a blue moon, I'll just be scrolling and like, oh, okay.
What do you think of haters?
Haters are my biggest motivator, honestly. I feel like, imagine being a porn critic, right? How sad does your life have to be religiously watching porn all day and then being a critic on it, right? Like, how can you be a critic on porn? You just look stupid. Like, it's funny too, because the haters, they're gonna bitch about the porn, but they're still paying for it, right? The haters are actually the biggest fans, because if you didn't give a fuck, you wouldn't take the time to comment all the fucking negative shit that they comment.
Do you know what I hate?
What?
Crocs.
Crocs? Oh god. Here we go.
Let me ask you a question about these Crocs that you have on. Somebody sent me a zoomed in picture of you on the Gravity stage.
Dude.
with your high heel Crocs on.
Fuck. Expose me, dude.
Why would you do that to yourself?
That's a prime example of a hater right there, and honestly, whoever did that is actually my biggest fan, so thank you for taking the time out of your day to do all that for me. I appreciate it. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel wanted. It makes me feel like someone's out there, you know, looking out for me, watching out for me, you know.
Explain to me the Croc fascination that you have.
I don't have a Croc fascination. I just like the shoes. I have other shoes. Like, I just, honestly, you know, I'm just trying to be different.
You wear Crocs because you know it elicits hatred.
Exactly.
And you want to stir people up. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah.
You're stirring me up. Has somebody ever texted you and be like, Drake, I need you right now. Go put those Crocs on.
No, nobody talks about the Crocs but you. Literally.
Go put those Crocs on. I'm into it. Yeah, because if I saw a Crocs, like if I walk into somebody's house and they have the foot area, you know, where they put the footwear, you know, and there are Crocs there, I leave.
You leave?
I don't even want to be associated with them. Yeah. You, I'm making a rare exception for, but you know.
I didn't know you hated Crocs that much.
I do suffer when I see you wear them.
What's like, why though?
I give hookers a pass because they're on the corner 24/7. doing their thing.
I've been
Nobody
called a
else
hooker.
should be wearing Crocs.
Crocs
That's
are
it.
comfortable. They're multi-use. You could put them in sports mode. You can run in them. You could walk in them.
You're running in Crocs?
Well, you don't have to run in them, but you can. There's the option to.
Let me ask you a question. When you riz people, right?
Yeah.
What do you say? What's your go-to?
When I riz people,
Or do you just say, I'm Drake Vaughn?
I don't know. I just tell them look at my Crocs. Gets them every time.
Have you ever said to somebody, go look at my Twitter, see if
No.
you're interested?
No, I don't ever use like my
Oh, I
following
do all
or
the time.
my.
I have to.
Because I don't
It's
want.
in my Grindr bio.
I don't want to attract like clout chasers. I want people to like fuck with me for me, and then when they find out later, oh, then that's like a cherry on top, right? I'd rather try to be charming or whatever before I pull out the Twitter.
Of the studio scenes you've done,
Yeah.
is there anybody that you feel was like the best, like love language fit, like sex fit, complimentary to you?
Probably Joey. Yeah. I'd have to say Joey.
Yeah. Why?
I don't know. He's just funny on set, relatable. We literally do the exact same thing when we have to like get hard or we have to fucking perform or we have to like.
Well, you're both twins.
Yeah. There you go.
Is there anybody that when you were watching porn, right, that you were like, I want to be like that person, or I want to take little golden nuggets from this person?
Not really, because I mean, when I watched porn, like before I was doing porn, I was never looking at the acting. I was never looking at the BS, whatever. It was just straight, just to get my nut off.
Names don't matter to you. You just want to see.
When I was,
thing.
before I was doing industry, names didn't matter to me. I wasn't like, oh, this is my favorite porn star. I love watching this person get fucked or fucked. I was very straight to the point.
Listen, I'm going to use your vernacular. You said nut off. When you're trying to get that,
Yeah.
who do you watch?
I mean, I actually like watching amateur porn more than like, lights everywhere. Like I want to just see like a phone set up. Recently, I've been having to like watch more crazy shit because like I'm so desensitized.
Oh.
So like,
You're kind of a freak is what you're trying to say.
I mean, once you've nutted to the same thing over and over again, it kind of gets old. So like, I'd have to just watch like more kind of crazy raunchy shit that normally I would not want to participate in, but like it gets me off because it's through a screen. So
What's next?
big things. I mean, can't really say here, but like I have a lot of big things coming up.
Bottoming scenes?
I'll do a bottoming scene when you do a bottoming scene.
I've never do a bottoming scene. I'm sorry to tell you.
Never?
I know that's your fantasy. Like, I know that
No.
you've searched the internet for it.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen.
AI is getting pretty good now. I could make
Oh,
you.
you're
I
gonna
could-
make an AI
I could
version
make
of
you
me.
bottom
Okay.
like that.
As long as I get a cut. Yeah.
But it's gonna be in my personal collection.
Don't put too many filters on it. Drake Vaughn, thank you for sitting down with me.
Yes, thank you.